Alright, this is continuation. I don't know what happened. So, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kakutash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone of well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into the labor's peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this, wherever you are, whatever your life may be. Alright, let's continue on here. So we got Paul Popenow and one of his direct quotes. Okay. 20th century, he was notorious for the eugenics movement. All right, he was one of America's most prominent racist eugenicists and an influential advocate for involuntary sterilization. Right, and this is that saying, like I said. Damn, let's get it. Two things. Actually, a couple. All right. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So, when did Pharaoh kill the firstborn? Pharaoh, there's actually a couple. Let us deal harshly with them. That's what we need. Let us deal harshly. Okay. Come on, man. God. Alright. It's that old English be kicking my ass. Alright. Let us deal wisely. That's why. That's my fault. Let us deal wisely, not harshly. Exodus 1 and 10. Goodness. Forgive me. It's been a minute. It's been a long couple days. X 1. Alright. Come, let us deal. Exodus 1 and 10. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over taskmasters to afflict them with burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities and Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and when they grieved them because the children of Israel. The Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, but also, let me keep reading. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field, right? And you saw that again in this spiritual Egypt, right? And Sodom and Rome 2.0, all right? This is the daughter of Babylon, where all the wickedness of every major rulership that is mentioned in the Bible is tied right back into here, right back into the whore, alright? Which is why she's labeled a whore. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shipra, and the name of the other Poor. And he said, when ye do the office of midwives to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stool, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Why? As I mentioned, the seed or the race, okay, Spanish raza, is with the son, with the father, with the man. And you also have it when Herod, I think that's Revelation 20, is it? No, 17. Let me do 17. Hey man, Babylon is doomed anyway. No, it's 12. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That red dragon. There appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head. Till drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. right? Yahushai, okay, that's Herod, because the red dragon is about Esau, Edom, and Herod was the Idumean, was an Edomite, and he was seeking to destroy Yahushai, right? But also, it is you can, pair that being the entirety of a nation, because they wanted to cut us off. Psalms 83, I think that's what it is, or maybe it's Psalms 91. I never remember, man. I just know it's got to be 83. It came. All right. Yeah, Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. Which is why they wanted to dumb you down and change your name and tell you that you were an African or that you were black. And I forgot to get something. Not Zipla, I wanted those names. I wanted to see what the names of those two midwives were. Name of one, Shipra. What does her name mean? Shapara. Or Shapar. Ship fair. Ain't that? Look at that. Because it wouldn't have been fair to kill the children. So her name was Fair. She did. The Lord picked her out to make sure, hey, keep deal fairly, basically with them. Hey man, you gotta look into these things, man. All of it, every little bit. Don't leave no stone unturned. What's poor? A power. Oh, I didn't see it at first. What does your name mean? Splendid, fair and splendid. One of the two midwives of the Hebrews ordered by Pharaoh to kill the male children born to Israel, alright, in the time of Moses. Not dog. Alright. Okay. Louis Madison Terman, another psychologist, pioneer in educational psychology in the early 20th century. Best known as developer of, the Stanford Binet IQ test. Prominent eugenicist, are you picking up on what's going on here? And a member of the Human Betterment Foundation. That's ironic. Some gemstones for Terman include: there is nothing about an individual that is as important as his IQ. And it's just a test that they made up. Okay, and they use that. You know what? Can I drag Grok over here? I probably can. You know what? Let's see. Talk to me, homeboy. Not how it was. How about, let's rephrase this. How did the I'm just going to say black people. We'll just leave it at people. Alright, this systematically disadvantaging cultural bias, right? Because you can't judge a fish for its tree climbing abilities. Let's see, socioeconomic disparities. Like nutrition or stress, Black Americans have historically faced systematic barriers, segregated schools, which that ain't a barrier. The barrier didn't come till integration. Underfunded, right? Because why? They're not smart enough anyway, so why put money towards them, right? Okay, that limit access to the preparation needed for high performance on standardized testing. These disparities don't reflect the innate ability, but rather structural inequities. Historical misuse of eugenics. In the early 20th century, IQ tests were sometimes used to justify racist ideologies including eugenics, right? Getting rid of the useless eaters, what they say. And they always want to lump niggas, they always want to lump Jake in with the rest of these niggas. And when I say niggas, I mean degenerates of all races. Okay, and so it is the job, and I'm going to pivot a little bit, it is the job of the white liberal to do that, to link LG, Libiquita, all right, the LG, the Rainbow Coalition, and all, and the disabled and all that, and black. That's the white liberals' job. Um, they take a movement, they pollute it, and then that polluted that polluted agenda is now used as a talking point and a justification, all right, to deal with Jake, how these devils usually deal with Jake. All right, thou art wiser than Daniel, ain't he? Ain't that what the scriptures tell you? All right. Ignore environmental factors. Results were misused to support policy like school segregation, discriminatory immigration laws, and reinforcing systematic exclusion. Norming and score. You see it. Okay. So we got what we got from that. Alright, The Bell Curve was the best-selling controversial 1994 book. Harvard psychologist Richard J. Herrnstein. And, we already know when you see that suffix. Yeah, alright, we'll continue on. An American Enterprise Institute political scientist Charles Murray, I think we've got him here too. The pair concluded that black people were genetically inferior and less intelligent than white and Asian people, which is funny because as soon as a Jake child is born, they are using their science, their race-based science, they poking them up like a damn voodoo doll, sticking them with stuff. They know what works on our people. That is why, the highly processed food is placed in heavily where Jake predominantly resides, right? Where the population is mostly Jake, right? They gotta cut down the trees, make sure there's no farmland. They just throw all kind of shit in your water supply, all of that. Don't go to no damn McDonald's or no churches or no fast food in a Jake neighborhood. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so we've covered enough here. I'm going to leave these up because I want to make sure I link all of these here. Alright, so this is Paul Popenoe. Paul Popenoe was a prominent figure in American eugenics movement who, in the early 20th century, espoused racist views about intelligence and race. He asserted that intelligence was determined by the amount of white... Yeah, so that was Paul Popenoe. Alright, white blood, right? Interesting. So in so many words, as long as a Edomite hit, then you good to go. If it's white, it's right. Huh. Oh, we already had that there. Okay. Oh, and that's what that was. Gotcha. Okay, here, the Human Betterment. A Nation of Imbeciles. The Human Betterment Foundation. Propaganda for Eugenic Practices in California. Huh. Oh, wow. Look at that. Alex. Look. So you can read through that as well on your own. Look at all. So you can find these links so you see where I'm going here. Okay. As I link all of these, you can click these and that sterilization for human betterment. I just need something short. (1855-1942). Wow, sterilization for human betterment. A summary of results of 6,000 operations. Wow. Oh, did they redact? Okay. That's a whole book. Okay, that is an entire book. Introduction here. Statistics of the mentally disabled are largely estimated, but conservatively speaking, 4% or 448 or 4,800,000 of the people of the United States will at some time. Huh. Feeble-minded. Wow. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I'm spoon feeding a lot of information here, but that's alright. We're gonna move to Louis Madison, or Lewis Madison Terman here. Actually, the vexing legacy. Look at this ugly motherfucker. Oh, good grief. Okay, where do we want to start? We'll just start at the top. Juvenile Authorities, 1923. Edward Dmytryk. Okay, Edward Dmytryk. Ordinary runaway. Okay. 14-year-old son. Okay. A word, he was gifted, a word Terman coined to describe the bright kids he devoted his life to researching. Genetic study. Though the more than 1,000 youngsters enrolled in his study. Okay. Marva. Alright, so this one may not be it. When I was looking for, okay, yeah, eugenics. We don't care about his early life. Okay. Yeah, you can look on your own. I don't want to be too long. Let me see. All right. Testing of the Negro intelligence, and this is Audrey Shuey, and this is a book here. But oh wow, December 11, 1977. Get out. Sure, whatever. Okay, alright. So don't go to the New York Times one then. I'm gonna just click this top link. Alright, so this is the book she wrote. But yeah, these are all okay. But still, these are names that you're gonna need. And Charles Murray is another one here. What year did this come out? 2017, huh? Who co-authored the Bell Curve? Remember by Richard Herrnstein. Denied. The student shouted him down, and one of his hosts was hurt in a scuffle. Waking up podcast, blah, 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 blah. IQ exists and that is extraordinarily important to life outcomes. So that was, I guess, an attempt for them to bring back another, But they got it now. They're bringing back their race-based pseudo science, all right, to use against Jake for sure. And I think we've covered it here. So I'm gonna link. I'm gonna put them in part 1 and part 2. The video got cut short, so that way, if you happen to see either or, if you don't see, if you don't see one, you see the other. I'm going to put all of these in the description. And you can go over this at your leisure. But this has been I guess like a brief overview, semi-brief overview of the origins of psychology. Alright, and just pretty much uncovering one small rock in a vast field of rocks, where you will find the racial and inferiority complex these devils have, alright, and their racial bias to put themselves up top when they know. But anyway, I ain't even gonna go there. This is just some of the pseudoscience, right? You can what is the word I'm trying to say? Good grief, let me calm down. You can turn over any stone and find some racist meaning or epithet or something that has racial origins. Goodness gracious Lord. You can turn over a stone. Forgive me, and this is why I know the video needs to end. You can turn over any stone in a vast field and you will see it's some sort of racial origins on whatever subject you can find, right? And it was always their obsession with Jake. Okay, so goodness. Alright. The water, hopefully you stuck with me. I know this one was kind of a long one, and it was kind of not something that was very exciting, but I've given you a lot of information. You can look into this on your own and do your own research and do your own videos. Maybe the Lord will take your inspiration in a different direction. Shalom.